This young man, Andrew, went viral with this video claiming that AI has sabotaged his entire career.
AI has ruined my life.
But did it really? Is that really true? I've used AI in my business for the last 3 years. I have a very similar background to Andrew, and what I'm about to share with you is the raw, unfiltered, and honest truth. There's more to the story, and we're going to investigate Andrew's claims today. So let's dive in. By the way, my name is Marvin. I've built 5 different online businesses to 5 figures a month, all from home with clients in 39 countries worldwide. I started using ChatGPT pretty much the week it came out in November 2022. I've created, developed, and sold AI-related services, but I've also been a filmmaker, just like Andrew in the first few years of my career. And he claims,
all throughout my life, I've done many creative professions. I used to make music videos. I wanted to be a director of photography, which, if you don't know, is pretty much like the head of the cameraman in a video production. I used to be very into video production. But the common theme of my life is that I've always loved creative endeavors and projects. I made some money with video production. It was all right. But then after I had about 3 clients in a row that ended up paying me less than minimum wage for the hours I put into it, doing the best work I could with 6 years of experience and a camera that is Netflix certified, I had enough. I couldn't do it anymore. It was something that just kept happening to me. And that's when the competition with automation started.
So Andrew claims that he was making below minimum wage selling his filmmaking services in a market where other filmmakers can make a great living. I've worked under several different producers and DOPs and directors who made 6 figures a year. So why is it that they don't struggle, but Andrew does? Here is why. In business and in the free market, selling a service is a skill. Whether I provide a service for $100 or for $5,000, of course it comes down to the perceived value. The harsh truth is that sometimes a potential client is not going to perceive the value to be what we're charging them, which has absolutely nothing to do with artificial intelligence. But let's continue listening to Andrew's story.
I noticed that people started to make comments, clients started to make comments, I can just do that with this tool. You don't need to edit with Premiere. I can do this in CapCut. I have an iPhone camera. It's pretty much just as good. Basically, as a professional, I've always loved to make things perfect to the level of quality that I wanted. That's professional. And that means fine-tuning very little things in a form of craftsmanship to make it perfect. And the problem is, a lot of people don't notice that stuff and they don't care. They don't care about craftsmanship anymore. It's about production. It's about produce.
If those are clients that you don't want to have, Andrew, why don't you go and find the clients who appreciate your work and your art and your craftsmanship? They seem to exist, right? I mean, is it that all filmmakers have lost their jobs? Or is it just that you are telling us that it is your perception that a growing amount of clients feel like they don't need your help anymore? Look, I'm not here to say that AI isn't taking jobs. It clearly is. But I'm here to address that I think that AI didn't ruin Andrew's life, and he knows that. But hey, I know exactly how this video is going to come across. Like I was unempathetic. Like I was just adding insult to injury here, right? Look, I want you to know that I worked $300 a month jobs in the film industry for 3 years. I was technically homeless when I was 21. You can see pictures right here. I fixed my shoes with tape because I couldn't afford any new shoes. I directed music videos. I worked on film sets in multiple countries and in all departments. I left this industry because I didn't enjoy making art for money. It just wasn't for me. But many filmmakers who I met along the way, so like even 10 years later now, they still make decent money. They're still in business, and AI hasn't taken their jobs. So the question is AI to blame for that? Or is it maybe just a very tough environment where it's extremely unlikely that everybody is going to survive?
AI tools and things like CapCut started to become mainstream, which made it so everybody can do this. You know, it doesn't matter if it low-key looks like crap, and I'm not judging people, but that, like, if it's 80% there, it's good enough. Post it. You know, for example, there are a lot of examples. So basically, I've been trying to run for the last 3 years from the mass acquisition of skills, lowering the bars for skill sets to the point where your skill set suddenly becomes useless. And AI has been central to doing that to me. And that's the main theme of this video, and that's the problem that has basically been messing me up for 3 years.
So essentially, Andrew is saying that now that tools like CapCut are so hands-off, it defeats the purpose of even hiring him for this kind of work, right? How is it that I have friends in this industry who are using the tools that you mentioned, Andrew? They use AI with these tools and they get paid right now. Here's a real private example. I received this from a friend who works at an agency that uses AI to narrate trailers. That agency, by the way, it makes 6 to 7 figures annually. Why do people still pay them if it's just so easy? Is it because people usually pay for something that they don't want to do or learn themselves, even if it's easy to do? I mean, let's be honest. Is it hard to mow your lawn? Is it hard to cook your own meals? No, right? But we still pay people for these services because it's just convenient. The same thing applies for filmmaking. And there will always be people who don't enjoy spending their time editing videos, and they don't enjoy using AI tools or features like those that Andrew has mentioned. Hell, I've even paid people to edit my videos as well.
CapCut became mainstream with all of its AI tools. Everything became, you know, completely easy. You know, anyone can do the same things. So now that everybody is on the same level and editing is easy, making a video is easy, buying equipment's easy, all of a sudden, the competition increases so much that there's no barrier to entry.
While I agree with you that it's easier now than ever to become a filmmaker and learn all of these skills, strangely, everything that you said still applies today. Everything, Andrew, everything you said. You still have to understand the technical aspects of filmmaking, like frames per second, aspect ratios, your image composition, the rule of thirds. I learned how to use Photoshop and Premiere like about 20 years ago. What's so funny is how even back then, we already had a similar debate about templates. How drag and drop templates and pre-made video transitions would destroy business because that would commoditize artistic work. See, this is just a repeating pattern in the history of technology. See, I wonder why, instead of complaining about how catching up to your skill set became so easy like you claim, why you didn't just focus on becoming the best AI filmmaker? See, if you were very far away from the barrier of entry, then the problems that you claim that you have because AI is ruining your life couldn't possibly exist. Think about it. If you offer the most basic services and you fail to set yourself apart from other competitors in your same industry, why would AI be to blame for that? I'm just going to be really honest here. I have the impression that you want to blame AI instead of blaming yourself, which is psychologically a very human reaction, but it's not going to help you in life. Creativity is essentially the core skill that can't be automated. AI-generated art isn't going to replace the minds of David Lynch, Christopher Nolan, or Darren Aronofsky. It maybe can imitate their work, yes. But an imitation is never going to be as valuable as the original.
Like, you can't, as a creator, it's not very easy to compete with someone else that just reposts clips of other people that worked hard and steals their content. Like clips from TV shows or this or that. All that stuff took tons of skill and skilled people running the cameras, writers, all types of skills, money, investment, you know, years of hard work. And then you got a person that comes along, takes the clip, makes a couple of alterations just so they can barely monetize it, and then they make thousands of dollars from it.
Yeah, I totally agree with Andrew here. Content creation became so inflated and pervasive that I think the true value of cinematography and photography has been kind of lost. But that's not really a new problem. I already felt that was the case when Instagram started and was new and everybody started using templates. I agree with you that we don't appreciate art anymore and the craftsmanship behind this art. And stealing content should never be rewarded.
Now, why do I say that AI ruined my life? Because this was a great job. Then my grandpa died and I took a week off because it really messed me up. When I came back, he fired me. The reason AI messed me up though, is that this guy then used AI based on the scripts I already wrote to make more lower quality videos, keeping the same series going. He's gotten millions of views ever since, making maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars based on the brand that I originally helped to make with the scripts and my idea for it. It's a series. And he replaced me with AI. No cost to him.
Okay, let me summarize this. Someone stole your work, then used AI to multiply your IP, your intellectual property. I mean, please listen to yourself for a minute. What you are essentially saying is that somebody has stolen your key and they used that key to break into your office to steal all of your equipment. But instead of blaming the person who did that to you, you're blaming the lock system instead, because it has been used against you in order to steal from you. Andrew, the problem isn't artificial intelligence. It's the terrible clients that you had who never appreciated your work. They don't appreciate you, and they don't strike me as people who I would ever like to work with. It's the people who are horrible and will deceive you. It's not AI.
The more I watch these videos, the more I realize that these gurus on YouTube got rich from searching keywords and generating a book. I can't compete. I just simply can't compete. I can't write that fast. I published my first book and it's got 0 sales, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not here to complain, right? But it's just dawning on me that I can't compete with this AI, dude. I don't want to contribute to making the internet a worse place. I actually like the internet a lot. I think the internet that was filled with things made by humans was great. And I think that if we project where this is going, the internet's gonna look like a pretty crappy place soon, full of all AI and probably bots.
I mean, to be fair, all you did in this video was just complaining and not much else. But it's totally understandable and I feel your frustration, even though that I don't agree. I just think for the most part, we humans are wasting so much time complaining instead of creating solutions. You say that you are afraid or worried that the internet will become much worse. We could just create anti-AI social media platforms that don't tolerate any AI-generated content. Problem solved. Most film festivals don't tolerate AI-generated movies right now. We can analyze pixel-level artifacts on a forensic level so that AI-generated media can always be easily detected. Problem solved. Brand yourself as the 100% human filmmaker who is anti-AI. Continue making viral videos about this topic, and people who think like you, people who like you, will buy from you. It's really that simple. You will replace your terrible clients with clients who appreciate you by stopping to accept terrible clients and taking on clients who will appreciate you. Problem solved.
So I don't know what to say. I'm not complaining. I just I feel like whatever new skill I learn will probably just be replaced by AI eventually, so what's the point? It's happened about 3 times now. So, yeah. Sometimes I wish I was born 30 years ago when people actually cared about marketing copy, when there wasn't social media, when people wanted to write clever commercials, when people wanted to write clever movies, when people wanted to make art that had a deeper meaning to it, but could also make money. It was a beautiful time. But now we live in 2025.
You say you wish you were born 30 years ago. Oh, hey, I know someone who was born 30 years ago. Andrew, nothing has changed. You just raised a great question here when you said, what's the point of learning new skills that will eventually be replaced by AI anyway? My answer is, work hard enough so that AI cannot replace you by focusing on the skills that simply are not replaceable, just like everybody else around you who still makes money. Yes, life is hard. Life isn't fair. That's a lesson that all of us at some point eventually need to learn. I've had terrible clients just like you, and I made close to zero money just like you. The one thing that I didn't do was to give up or complain about it, because it just doesn't help. Someone else, not you, is going to take advantage of new technologies, and they will merge their creative ideas with AI, and that person could be you. Maybe you are extremely creative and your work could be so much more amazing if you were more open to new technologies. But hey, maybe AI is something that you really despise. And therefore, you maybe need to figure out what else you want to do with your life. Just like me, I left the film business, but for entirely different reasons, as I simply didn't enjoy it. And to be honest with you, I can see myself in you in many ways. I get it. Sometimes we need to rant, and it's extremely important that people like you share their very genuine feelings. So I'm not here to judge you for that, but I will say this: blaming AI for everything that went wrong doesn't do any justice to the reality that you're facing. I got a free training on marvinadam.com that's breaking down the best online business to start this year. And yes, I'm using AI to grow my businesses. I share all of my strategies that help me build 5 different brands to 5 figures a month without leaving my house. That helped Thomas hit $9K a month from home. That helped Marvin from Texas hit over $33,000 a month from home. Building lives they actually love. I guarantee that it will be worth your time.